kind of
Roll
what kind
20.
of
Hello, and welcome back to the Gamer's Tale. I'm Jake Gatter. I'll be your Dungeon Master for this evening. We'll be continuing our Forging the Onyx campaign, and after last week, 2 weeks ago, the party managed to escape from the Piers of Paskim, travel all the way down to Giva, get a hitch ride over to the Oasis, do a lot of shopping where Brock lost his axe to be enchanted, and Bruno Watts managed to shake down everyone for a series of important, what's it called? Important gear. So we pick up right where we left off. Probably the day after all of that. So, what is the party doing? You've gotten up, you're stretching. What?
Nick, real quick.
Yes.
What kind of axe would you like?
What do you mean? Like
Like,
two-handed,
You want a
one-handed?
great axe.
Right, great axe.
Great axe?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a direwolf and 2 boars today.
It's very boring. Okay, I've been on a roll of terrible puns and other jokes lately. Like, I've actually gone out online and made them. So, oh yes, the construction on Bruno's Bruno's big house has begun. It's probably going to take a couple weeks for them to finish it all out
That's
and
fair.
furnish it, because it is a huge thing, and they're building pretty much a secondary floor into a single floor building.
I mean, if you think about it, though, all the important stuff should already be there. Like their supports are already there because of the rafters and everything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they only have to really like put on top.
Yes, and then there's also building all the other rooms up top and on the bottom.
Well, on the bottom, I don't really need a room on the bottom. I just need
That's
the upper
right.
floor.
Yeah.
The bottom is my storage and working. I can take care of that. Which brings me to my question. Number one, in my small workshop, would I have any measure of gold at all?
You probably would have had put some away,
Okay,
obviously.
good. Because I'm gonna use my favorite combination of spells, and I'm going to get my gold back because I spent it all without thinking about like I need to do this. So keep going with someone else real quick because I got to find out how much that actually is again.
Okay, so Lundgren, we'll start off with you.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Okay, so I wanted to keep the retainers on the lookout for those scrolls when they come in, because I don't think I'm going to be here when they're there. In case I'm not, I want to make sure that they can like keep track of them, watch over them, so they're not stolen as such, and so on and so forth.
All right, you tell Eric and Richard that, yeah, okay, keep an eye out for, I have some packages coming in, can you pick them up for me and put them somewhere safe? Of course, Eric's like, yeah, sure, I can get Richard to do it.
He's the newbie one, isn't he?
He is the youngest.
Okay.
Oh, you guys have probably been doing this about almost 6 months now, so he might be 20, maybe 21.
Oh, okay. So he's kind of grown up in it, or maybe like, well, not grown up in it, but like he's been doing this for a while, and so he's more experienced in the field and retainer-ish.
He's probably been doing this since he was 16, but he's still the new guy.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's just that the other guys have been doing it way longer than him.
Oh yeah, Alan's in like his mid-30s. And he's been doing this. He's technically the oldest of them.
Okay, so if he started when he was 16, he's been doing it for half his life.
He came to Frederick's employ maybe 10 to 15 years ago.
When Frederick was a young boy.
Yes, when he was a young boy. Alan was the one that you send to have people get watched over, and then eventually his role changed as Frederick got older.
I'm head boy.
Yes.
Okay,
Eric's just kind of Eric falls right in the middle, but he's kind of the front man of the three.
okay.
Okay, so I have all my stuff now. And all I want to do, Trent, is I want to find some porters. You know what a porter is, right?
I'm trying to remember what the term is. Will you refresh my memory?
A porter is a person who is paid money to move stuff from one location to another, most commonly off a ship onto a dock or on a dock to a ship.
Okay, so kind of movers.
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna find some movers, and I'm gonna pay them to move all of my shit, all my materials, my chemicals, everything.
Some
from
of
the
which is probably actually crap. Let's be honest.
Fertilizer.
It's just, listen, those are raw components. They're legal.
Yes, they are. All
until I
right. So
find them. But yeah, have them move all that stuff down there, and unless it's something that is, no, I shouldn't have anything extremely volatile left.
oh yeah, no, you're mostly raw materials and inert parts, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, and then there's like my shitty bed, my shitty stove, like it's like a wood fire stove, my shitty pots, my shitty single pot with my shitty single bowl and spoon for my crappy oatmeal, and then my forge. Essentially, they'll have to like move it. My
I forgot
alchemy
you only
set.
ate oatmeal.
Yeah, I only ate oatmeal. Listen, man, you spend your money on the toys.
This is true. There was no ramen in this day and age.
I can relate to this.
It's like but yeah, so that stuff, and then just move all my shit to my big house, and then I'll be waiting for them, and as they bring something in, like bring all my iron in. All right, put it in this corner, put that in that corner, and I'm gonna set it all up.
To move just like the basic stuff that you have in there, that's not including the couple of tons of metal. It probably costs you about 200 gold.
You
Because
said
they
to
have
include my couple tons of metal.
no,
Or
that
to
probably
not
be
include it?
50, an extra 50 or so to move all that, because you have to take the stuff down, remove other things, unbuckle this, unbuckle that. Then there's a crap load of metal.
Yeah, I want them to move everything.
All right, so probably double the price, so about 400 gold to move everything in your lock, stock, and barrel.
I'll give them 1,000
Okay.
to be snappy.
They tell you they probably in the next day or two they'll probably have it all done with that amount of money.
How many guys do they need to have it all done? Like today?
They have 10, and they'll probably need another 20, so probably cover it.
How much would that cost?
An extra 100.
Yeah, let's do that. I want it done now.
Okay, so
I want it done yesterday, damn it.
Give me those pictures of Spider-Man.
I'll give you $30 for it. Anyway, so
Best I can do is 25.
Crap.
they're all crap. Anyway, so it takes your day is probably pretty much spent directing them to do that. And there's just all this activity. They got their wagons, they got their guys, they got the little cranes and stuff that they have to set up and take down at each location, and they're starting to load the stuff in. And this is also weaving in between the people who are working on your big house.
One more thing.
Yes.
Would I know where? I'm sorry. I got a new house, guys. I gotta move. Jesus. Would I know where? The only person whose name I know is Lunger and Bass.
Mine. Yep.
Did he tell me where he was staying at? at all?
No.
No, I didn't. You could find me somewhere and ask me.
Yeah, but
I mean, I told you we were like at the palace or whatever, right?
Yeah, but I'm trying to stay the fuck away from that.
What about, did I say I was going to Scrawlers? Would you go there?
No, I'd have no need. I'm buying a wizard. I mean, paying a wizard.
For some reason, I find that uproarious that you say I'm buying a wizard.
Let's be honest here. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know, but because you're so honest about it, I think it's fairly hilarious in your expression of it. Is all.
That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm gonna pay him twice his weight in gold to cast magic for me. He's gonna stay in that fucking house and enchant my shit.
Okay. But no,
Every day, all day.
to the best of my knowledge, Lundgren has not informed you where he was staying, let alone if he knew where he was staying, which is at the Oasis, the Palace. He's been provided a room due to his new high status.
Really?
I know he's mentioned. Yeah, you get my old room. You get Frederick's old room.
Technically, you don't get Frederick's old room. You get a few steps down from that because you are not. Ooh, okay.
What the
This-
fuck was that?
The volume turned on randomly for my TV.
Okay, that's disturbing.
Your
Yeah,
house is haunted.
legitimately. Yeah,
That is.
I think, yeah, I stepped on the remote. That's why. Or the cat did. I don't know. Someone stepped on it.
some remotes getting stepped on.
Good and bad news. Bad news, the house is haunted. Good news, it's only a poltergeist.
True.
only a poltergeist, he says.
Let's be honest. There are worse things than poltergeists out there, even in D&D.
Any other kind of
Yeah.
ghost. Poltergeists are just pranksters. That's all they are.
Angry, unless they're the angry pranksters. Anyway, so you would probably get a room or two below the status that Frederick had, since you are considered a squire. It's definitely nicer than most of the rooms in like the taverns and the hotels, but it is still not the same high status because you haven't technically earned that rank yet.
You
Is there
weren't born
room enough
there, you
for
haven't
Brock?
done it.
Is there room enough for Brock and Tread to stay in wherever this is with me, or?
If you want, you could also have servants' quarters set up for them.
No, they can stay with me
Okay,
if they want to.
okay.
What?
Subjugation.
No, not subjugation.
Congratulations, you're all my retainers now.
You're my slaves now.
No, not
Congratulations.
slaves. Retainers are paid.
Congratulations, you're being rescued. Please don't resist.
I just asked because I would probably send like a letter or a note to him saying, "Hey, this is my new address. Stop by."
Okay.
Check out my open house.
Is that official?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I would send a letter addressed to him to the palace and be like, "I hope this fucking gets to him."
You could also technically send it to Holzborn, and he'd probably be willing to reroute it to wherever it was.
No, I've asked a lot from Holzborn in the past couple days, so I'll give him a few days without seeing my face.
Okay. All right. So you send a letter. Lundgren, you receive a letter from Bruno Watts, addressed very formally in a moderately practiced hand that still looks like it's writing death and destruction at the same time.
So angry.
Gothic Sands.
Angry.
Yeah, but it tells you the new address of the letter states something like, check out my new warehouse. It's got extra room. Come by and see it. It's awesome.
Well, no, I wouldn't mention that it has X. I would just say I got a new warehouse. Come by. That's it. I wouldn't say anything about extra room or more room or anything like that. That's an open invitation for him to stay.
Check out my new
What-
digs
And then leave.
with moderate discomfort, Bruno.
Did you sign the waivers?
The man who, when we first met him, told us in his house, told us not to touch anything.
Because it was small. there was so much combustible shit directly beside each other. Some of it sitting on top of the other one.
OSHA does not approve of this message.
God no. There's like vials of acid sitting on the highly like reactive metals.
Okay, so I relay this to the party and say that it would be a cool idea if we would pop over right now.
Okay. So,
Right.
oh yeah, we heard you got a new house.
There's construction and everything, and people are moving. I'm just like, what the fuck? I didn't mean today. But you're here now.
Yeah, so you make your way across the city and you find the hustle and bustle of this very large warehouse compared to the place you saw before. And you just see kind of Bruno just kind of sitting there. He's got a bowl of oatmeal, just like, no, put that over there. No, you're gonna blow up. And he's just ordering all the people around. And you see there's people building this stuff over here, and there's scaffolding, and looks like there's a floor being put on above you, and Bruno is just kind of like it's already early in the day. He's kind of like already done, but there's still more work to be done.
I'm quietly in awe of the whole thing.
What time of day would it be?
Oh, it's probably about 10 a.m.
Yeah, Bruno's severely upset.
Visibly?
No, not visibly upset, but like inside, he's already done with the day. He's just like, I should just go to bed and say fuck this. And just,
Oh, okay.
well, because like hired hands are really nice, but hired hands are also a little retarded.
Oh, having to tell them to redo everything 5 or 6 times if they don't know it, like you know it, and your gear and crap like that. Yeah, pretty much.
It's not so much that. It's more of just like this will take us a few days. Well, I need it today. Well, we can't do it today. Go get more men. That's going to cost more money. Just go get
Fine.
more people. Jesus, I'm paying you. Just go.
As this is happening, you hear and some horses come up pulling an enormous wagon.
Yes. It is.
And it kind of knocks into some of the stuff and knocks some things over, and people are like,
They're just upset and angry. It'll be okay though.
I could clean it up.
they
No.
only clears off surface things. It doesn't reset anything.
I mean, somebody had made a mess.
It's a very obnoxious cart. Well, let me see. Did I write down the dimensions that I wanted?
I'm pretty sure it has 8 wheels on it.
I believe it does have 8 wheels.
Really? Cool.
It's like
it's
it's double
custom.
wide and like 10 to 15 feet long.
It's custom. It's
That sounds
oh
like
god, did I not write down the dimensions? I didn't.
Trent's
Oh,
just
God.
wondering, like, I don't understand. Is it a full moon? Is that why this house is so large? Warehouse.
ouch. Okay.
Is it a man that turns into a house? It is now.
It's a house that turns into a man.
It's a house that turns into a bigger house, or a person that turns into a house. What is a warehouse?
Don't worry about it. Try it. But yeah,
You don't know my name.
That's right. We got to figure out that.
don't worry about it, lizard man. Don't lizard about it.
Yeah. I'm
Uh,
assuming Brock just tagging along for all this.
I mean, if he wants to. If he doesn't want to come see my house, he doesn't have to come see my house. Nick is gone. He has left us.
He's vanished from the face of the earth, never to return.
But
Or he went to get a refill.
I would. Lundgren. No,
Yeah.
did I? Yeah, Lundgren.
Yes.
Yeah, you know my name. Yeah,
No,
sure.
I know your name. I know your name, but like you always say something different. Like every time you introduce yourself. Sometimes you say, "Hi, I'm Lundgren Bask." You can call me Bask. Some people call you Lundgren. Some people call you Lundgren Bask. You're like James Bond, but not as fluid.
It was more Bond and less James.
Yeah, more Bond, less James. You're stirred, not shaken.
Okay.
Anyway.
There might be a question in there somewhere.
No, not from me. Just
Oh,
statements.
okay.
Very much just statements.
Cool.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah, this is my new place. I figured I could use the extra space. Then I'll have an actual house up top, instead of just a cot in the corner. But come
Sounds
on,
cool.
come in. I'll careful. There's mostly just construction, and I just poke out and look at the guys with the cart and just look at it, and be like, push it. Is there like the big ass doors on the front that can swing open?
Yeah, there are big ass doors, and those are the ones that have been opened. It's more like they slide to the side for the most part.
I couldn't put it
But-
inside right now, could I?
You could. There is a way in the back, like they have the initial floor. They got about 1/3 the floor done,
Mhm.
but they're still doing some work kind of below that and around that.
Yeah,
If you
I'll
want
just
to
leave it
plow
out-
through it,
I'll just leave it outside for right now. I mean, you're not stealing it.
not without like the 8 teams of horses they used to get it here.
Tread might be able to carry it off, but he'd have no interest in it.
Nope, he cannot carry it off. That thing is way too heavy. He could pull it, maybe. No. Tread is not stronger than 16 horses.
Even too heavy
I
for
could
that.
make 16 horses.
You could, that is correct. You could summon 16 horses.
Eventually. I don't know if I can yet, but eventually.
Sounds like fun.
A horse has what? A challenge rating of a quarter?
Yeah, but I think I can only summon 8 at a time right now. As soon as we level up, I should be able to double that.
Oh, okay.
Cool. All right,
Well-
so basically the card is so blinking heavy, nobody could steal it, even if they wanted to.
I mean, it could be stolen, but it's going to be very obvious and very slow.
Oddly enough, today's episode I called it "What's Next?" An Iron Horse.
How
that
did
a
you
joke?
notice?
Is that a joke for me?
I'll cross that one off my list. Can't call it that.
Yeah. No, it's not a joke for you. It was mentioned for a number of other things.
Maybe
Yes.
you can tell me later.
No, he mentioned it before. He wanted to make a motorcycle.
Of sorts. Because if I
With only one wheel.
if I can make this cart work, I can, in theory, make it smaller and faster.
First things first, though.
Yeah, you
Gotta
got
get the cart.
Yeah, you go really big first. That way, it's easier to see where you messed up. And then you go a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, I would show them around. Yeah, they're putting up a second floor here, just because I had all that open space I didn't really need. They're putting in a number of rooms up there. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them all yet, but they're putting in rooms up there. And of course, this will be my work area down here. There'll be the forge. There's the lab. That's my small stuff over there. And with that cart's gonna come in as soon as they finish. I don't know when they're gonna finish, but I'm still gonna have the other place too. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Maybe I'll get a tunnel dug from one to the other.
You'll have more than one house and a tunnel?
Yeah.
That sounds really
Well,
cool.
technically, neither one are houses, because they're zoned for industrial. So I can't technically live here.
But you do.
Listen, man, this is my business. I work 24/7. Who are
That's
you
really
questioning,
interesting.
lizard guy?
I'd never lived in more than one house at once.
Well, I
For me, it was
can't.
just one house. I know you said you can't live here, but for me, it's like you're building onto it and you're moving lots of your personal stuff into it. It seems like it could maybe function as a house in one level or other.
Well,
Just saying.
eh. Anyway, what do you guys have? What do you guys have planned?
Well, I've got an order in at the Scrawlers, but they said it's not going to come in till like a month, so I can't really do much with that. I was wondering, since we were here, if you could. You mentioned that you might be able to explain things about alchemy to me, so I'm not mixing around food or like mixing the chemicals in my lap. Can you do that with house or whatever this is in that condition now, or can you like just explain other things to me like while we wait?
Well, I mean, my lab will be set up over here by the end of the day. So if you want to come back, like, if you want to do that tomorrow morning, that's cool.
All right, cool.
I was planning a trip up to Sula to see if there's any weird shit I can find up there.
You want us to go with you?
I mean, you're more than welcome to.
All
I'm
right.
sure you'll have a good time with it too.
Yep. I have a lot of good times in new places.
But that if your guys want to come, they can come too. I don't care. I figured that we probably couldn't call in the favor of an airship this time, so we would just use a cart and horses and just wagon it.
Sure.
Unless what is your name, Lizard Man?
Tread Scala.
Tread Scala. All right. I'm sorry. We've been together for like a few weeks now, and I have no idea what your name was. I'm sorry. But
I
unless
don't usually talk to humans.
I don't either. That's pretty fair.
This whole time he's just been talking to a dog.
I don't talk to humans either. Fun fact, semi-true.
Yeah.
But yeah, unless Tread Scala wants to do that summoning the birdie thing again, I figured we would just take a wagon and just take our time getting out there. I mean, I'm in no rush. Holsborn doesn't have any work for me. He's actually doing some work for me right now, getting me some stuff.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, actually, you guys should, if you guys are looking for anything, he's got his ear to the ground of a lot of magical stuff.
Really?
It's
Alchemical stuff?
Well, I mean, I can get you alchemical stuff, but
Okay.
it costs more, but I don't know where he gets it, honestly. He's never sent me to retrieve it, so I don't know. He really, to be honest with you, he just hires me to kill people.
He sounds like he's a man who
make
likes to
stuff for
keep his
him?
secrets.
Yeah, so I mean, wherever he gets it from, I don't know. But it's good stuff.
Okay.
It's quality reconstructions. But yeah, if you guys want to go up to Sula, we can go up to Sula, poke around up there. I'm sure who are they? Who are the people you're looking for?
The Saronicus members.
The Saronicus, the Colt, whatever they are.
Yeah.
I'm sure if they were in Giva and the Piers, they're probably in Sula too. Sula's a little bit of a smaller city, right, Trent?
No.
No, Sula's a big city.
Sula's a big city.
Sula's a big city, so they've got to have a bunch of people there. How familiar am I with Sula?
Well, after you got kicked out of Giva, which is like third largest, it goes the Oasis, Sula, Giva, Healot, Piers of Pascom. So you probably got sent to Sula at least once, or at least tried to go there because there's things of interest in Sula.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in Sula that you can find, you can get. A lot of fun stuff to see. Looking at you, big guy. Not Tread, but the other one. I don't know his name either, just the big guy.
Say himself to you either. I don't think he did.
It's okay. He'll tell me when he needs me.
Sure. Okay, well, based on what I've seen in my travels over these past several months, it seems like these Saronicus people are everywhere in every town.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
folks do.
Yeah, so we'll find them if they're there, obviously, unless they want to be like super secret about it.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I never got a chance to ask this. When you do like your alchemy stuff, what do you make?
What do you mean?
Well, what do you do with alchemy supplies? When you use them, what do you make?
Well, when I'm at home, because I have my full laboratory, I make anything really. I use a lot of the chemicals in my crafting. I make stuff, like my gloves, and I'll show them the two gloves. It's a very distinct, like brass and red. And there's a yellow and a red glove. They don't match.
A yellow and red that don't match. That's very fashion forward of you.
Well, it's so I know which one is which. But yeah, you know, I use it for all kinds of stuff. I can make poison. To be honest, it's mostly poison.
Okay, so what could somebody like me do who's like only skilled in alchemy and not in things like metal craft or leather craft like you are?
Well, you can make poison and stuff like that. I mean, you can make the same things I make. It's just having access to the right materials, taking your time, and using a lab. If you're going to be doing it on the road, like quick, just throw these two things together. You can patch up together some small, like very common low-level healing potions, maybe some antitoxins. Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, there's some other stuff that I can show you to do when we're on the road that you could technically make useful, air quoting useful stuff. There's a whole bunch you can do. I'll show you on the road.
Okay, that sounds like fun.
So let's leave. We'll go to Sula. We'll give it a few days. Trent, how many days do they need to finish in my workshop?
They need to get like the whole thing finished with the construction and with setting up the things. The thing is being set up. Your workshop and stuff are going to be set up probably by the end of the day. Then finishing construction, day or two.
So like tomorrow or the next day?
It might be the next day, depending on how things work.
Let's just give it a couple days. We'll see how these guys are doing coming along, and then we'll hit the road for Sula. You guys can come back by tomorrow or anytime or whatever, and I'll show you some Alchemo stuff. Looking at Brock now, I don't know Brock's name, but I notice he doesn't. What I notice he doesn't have his axe on him.
Yeah, he generally has that out or with him, like strapped to him, and it's a big axe. The axe is gone. He just has his hand axes and javelins with him.
Hey, big guy. Where's your axe?
Nick was tired, so he might have fallen asleep. It's entirely possible.
Nick, are you alive?
Blink twice for yes.
Well, we can't see his face.
Say nothing if you're alive. Okay, he's fine.
Oh. Dad, why won't you wake up? Oh, that's fucked.
That sounds terrible. Okay. Well,
anyway,
I think I was there. I was there with him. I thought when he went to a Nestor, so I would know. If I'm not mistaken, and I may be.
Even so, he probably would have told us.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna make him an axe. You know. Well, you wouldn't know what it is.
Well, okay. My character would not.
No, but yeah, I'm gonna make him the axe. So let's give it a day or so. We'll see how my shop's coming along, and then we'll hit the road.
Okay.
There we go. Now, if you excuse me, I have to yell at people.
Oh, let's leave him. We'll leave you to that then.
Yeah, I'd say sit down and enjoy yourself, but as you can see, I have no furniture. You're more than welcome to sit on the ground and watch. It's not very comfortable.
I was raised not very comfortable, so it doesn't really matter to me as such.
Actually, can you guys just leave?
Tread's already
Okay.
gone.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
was trying to be polite. You were here too much. You were here
trying
too
to be
long.
polite. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Get the hell out of my house.
Mountain Village.
Tread was already walking away.
It's starting to become very, very very prevalent that Bruno is an introvert.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You've been here too long. Go away.
Leave me.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out, chum.
I was trying to be nice.
Okay. Back to the palace with us then.
Yeah, you guys do what you want. I have my things set in front of me. Trent, I'm gonna go ahead and do some rolls for crafting. Is trying to put a shotgun in an axe.
Okay. So,
Forward slash. How many d20s?
I would say I'm gonna try to determine what the skills are. I would say probably 2.
Okay, 2d20.
2d20. I would say it's going to be a combination of straight intelligence and sleight of hand, because you're making an axe. Axes are super simple, but you're putting a complex mechanism inside the axe.
Okay. Now, since I am crafting it, could I add my artisan's intuition?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a plus 1d6. D6. Trying to read what else there is. Just trying to make sure. Because there's like a long list of shit that I get. So it's, you said just straight intelligence?
Straight intelligence and sleight of hand.
All right, so sleight of hand, I get a plus 8. Intelligence, are we adding proficiency bonus or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's plus 8 as well. So we'll do plus 8. So there we go. So the first one, 19. So the intelligence is a 23,
Okay.
and the sleight of hand is a 30.
Okay, you were
Nice.
able to make the shatter axe, or whatever you want to call it.
The scatter
Shatter.
axe.
Scatter axe. You managed to whip it up in a couple of hours. Pretty good. Very sturdy, very nice looking, but it's still kind of ugly because it's an axe with a gun in it.
That's okay. The body's, it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to kill shit.
Yes. So
And it's 100% custom, one of a kind.
true. All right, do you guys just want to like skip over a couple of days and do that, or do you want to go through that?
No, Trent, we want you to go through it with painstaking detail.
All right. So
Real quick though, would we have? I probably asked this before, but is there a place here where I could get like a magic item?
in the Oasis, let me check what I have to actually find that.
This is like the only thing I'm gonna ask about. Promise.
Legally or not?
Tread doesn't understand laws.
Osborne.
Specifically, he wants like a magic staff,
I thought you had a magic staff.
like a spellcasting staff, not like a stick fight staff.
Okay.
He has a magic quarterstaff.
For weapons, there's stone crushers. They deal in some like low level. They deal in all weapons. They are lightly enchanted.
So not really what I'm looking for. Okay, that's it.
I have bookstores, oddly enough, in this place, but no. Yeah, the only like magical place that is official is the Scrawlers, and they deal almost exclusively in spell scrolls and
Okay.
spell material. Sula might have something like that.
Does
Okay.
anybody have use for books that aren't magic or aren't scrolls? I mean, so like stuff like if we could take a look to see if there was any like history books or anything that could help us do any kind of research or what have you.
Tread does mention that at one point, Skull Cow, I believe, mentioned 4 kingdoms when we only know of 2 or something like that.
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
it wasn't the 3 kingdoms, it's 4.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I remember that because it was
Yeah.
so weird.
So Tread's gonna mention that, like, if you could find a book about that, that's what books are for, right?
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things books are sometimes for. Yeah. Okay. So where's the nearest bookstore?
Okay, let me just look that up. All right, there is a bookstore, general use bookstore in the Oasis. The Shadecaster is on the eastern side of the city.
Is that unmarked?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I woke up now again.
Hey.
We thought maybe, but that's okay.
Yes.
After Bruno asked if you had your axe, you didn't have your axe on you, and he wanted to know why, and you didn't reply. We thought maybe that's okay.
Yeah, I totally just like zonked out.
Okay.
Good news is you now have a great axe with a shotgun in it.
Okay.
Sounds awesome.
Okay, so you guys go to the
I'll go without it because I still got that great sword, the Giant Slayer.
Yeah, Giant Slayer.
Giant
Oh.
Slayer, great sword.
Well, then I'll throw my fucking axe away. I'll never destroy something I make. It'll just go in a box. And then I'll find it and be like, oh shit. I was on a lot of drugs when I made this shit.
I'm on a lot of drugs now. Okay. So you guys go to the Shade or Lundgren and Company, excluding Bruno. Do you guys go to the Shadecaster?
Sure.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So you walk into the Shadecaster. It's a pretty good sized building. It has that. It feels like a cross between a small town library and a used bookstore.
Sounds like fun.
The books are is packed and packed and packed, and it goes back pretty decently. And at the sound of the bell, you hear what? And this woman appears from behind the counter. And how may I help you?
Yes, I'm looking for the history of the kingdoms. Any books on the history of the kingdoms of this region?
Well, there's only one kingdom in this region.
Oh, okay. I meant like
The kingdoms in general.
yes.
The
What-
kingdoms in general is a much different thing. We'll see what we got. All right. She hops out. She's a dwarf, by the way. Dark curly hair, very black skin. Not in a Duragar gray way, but like that way. And she waddles around and she says, well, we've got, he comes back and says, here's the general history. We got about 10 books on that. We got ranging from like the founding of Olton to about to about 100 years ago. She points to another one. This one's for the last couple hundred years. And then we got ones dealing with what you would be taught in a place like Sarand and a few other places. Then we got more obscure ones, like ones dealing with Scentless.
Okay. What about I speak into the earring. I say, did Skull Cow name the fourth kingdom for you or not?
He didn't, right?
He did
Just the four. No.
Okay. What about the kingdoms in general? How many kingdoms are there?
Well, there are 3 kingdoms and an old wasteland. Some people claim to the northwest of here.
The wasteland. Is there any myths or legends about it?
There's a few things. I don't think we have any books on it. No one's really been interested. There's some obscure references, and I haven't read all the books, of course, but there are some obscure references in some of them. She pulls out a couple ones, and she kind of flips to them and says, "Yeah, here it is." There's not really much that I have, at least,
Okay.
in public forums that I talk about another kingdom, just an old wasteland.
Okay, so in Old Wasteland, you mentioned that there was nothing that you in particular had, but were there other libraries or other houses of study that would have anything more about it, or was it just kind of like lost to history and never came back?
You might want to check the official Kingly archives. They definitely have more books than I do, but
Oh, okay.
there are a number of places that just have things lost.
It's a sad thing, really. It is losing history.
Oh, it definitely is. Although some history is better off left buried in the past, if you get my drift.
Yep, I do. All
Trey
right,
doesn't understand.
I can explain later.
She goes on and explains like a couple of her past relationships she would like prefer to forget, but she spends like 30 minutes haranguing about it that you think maybe she hasn't really gotten over it. And by that time, your party's kind of uncomfortable, but she's just like, I've kept you long enough. Have a good day.
The whole time, literally from the second she started until right now, Tread's just sitting there, motionless, eyes and looking in different directions, just like
Unless
the.
there's anything else I can help you with.
No. Is it okay? How do I explain this? Is it okay if we were to borrow some books, or if I want to read those, I have to keep them? Oh, they're for sale, are they?
Sure.
Oh, I thought this was. I was a little confused.
I was describing how it looked, not what
Okay,
it was.
because I'm used to. Sorry, I'm used to going to libraries where the books have to be borrowed and put back after a while.
You
Sorry.
can purchase any of these books out here for a price, and they can be yours forever, barring burning and a few other things.
For sure. Okay. So let's say, how many books do I have in front of me? I think based on what you said, I had about between 15 and 25
There's about 10 books in a stack.
and books. Okay. So is there, she brought me out a single stack or like a stack and a half?
Just about one stack, yeah.
One stack. Okay. So if I were to buy all the books in this stack, how much would that be?
About 150 gold.
150 gold.
These things are kind of hard to produce, and some of them are of a good vintage. And you see that these are some really old leather-bound books. Some of them have the weird kind of twine made into a solid hardback. Some of them are almost just like wrapped in leather, just a thin leather.
So like ancient binding techniques, then they've been around for quite some time.
Some of them, yes, some of them just look like they've been done cheaply.
Okay. All right, then. So if I can subtract, I have to cheat and use a calculator. Hold on. You said 150.
150 for the 10 books.
Okay. I'd ask if Tread needs any books, but I don't think he. Well, I know he can read, but I think he likes to have his knowledge in other ways.
Do you have any books relating to nature?
Oh, loads of books. I'm Muriel, by the way. Nice to meet you. But you can say that plants are one of my favorite things to talk about, and she kind of takes Tread by the hand, so it's the height difference is very noticeable, and she leads you into this area that's just full of books ranging from all different kinds of plants. Some dedicated only to one set of plants, some to a family, some to just a general, some to even just locations specifically.
Okay. This catches me a little off guard.
What were you looking for?
I'm familiar with the natural life in my area, but not others. I'd like to learn a little bit more about it.
Oh, you want to learn about here? Oh, well, so she goes and she pulls off a couple of books and says, these are the ones for the locale in this kingdom, in Olton. And then here are a few other ones that are really quite fascinating from Sendless.
How much?
For these, for another plant lover, I would say about... so there's about 5 books here, so she's about maybe 50 gold.
I have the I have more than that. Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay.
I was gonna say I have the bag of holding I could do it anyway, but I have that much in my stock.
Yeah, me too. That's why I had to go over and look at it.
Deal.
Fantastic. I'll just ring you up. She goes back. She kind of puts them in a little sack. Hands it to you.
Thank you.
I'm assuming you've all handed over your gold.
Yeah, I deducted mine for definite. I wasn't going to steal the books.
All right. Is there anything else?
You said this was like general use books, right? So not about like the history of magic or the history of any civilizations, or
Well, you might have history of civilizations. Yes.
what about the Lumbian civilization? Do you have any books on that one?
I'm not. Lumbian. Why does that sound familiar?
Across the sea, thousands of years ago, or hundreds of years about?
No. He was mentioning something else, and wait one. She goes and she finds a couple of books, and she says, "No, there was one of the other things I like besides plants is history, and there was a couple of books." And she brings out those couple of books. A couple of books that dealt with the Underground Wars. A few of them. There might be more information either in the King's Archives or in Sula, but this one deals with this, and then she kind of flips through one and says, "Oh yes, that's why it sounds familiar." She points, and you see that there's a list of kingdoms that went to war against various other kingdoms, and says like the kingdoms of the underground, and one of them is Lumbian. And
Okay.
then there's 5 other ones, but those are
The main
behind
ones.
behind screens. I've not figured the names out for them yet, but one of them is Lumbian.
Okay, so we've got 10 books on 10 books on I forget the nature of the books I just bought 5 seconds ago.
They're just general history books of the kingdoms.
General, let's put general kingdom history books. And then there's 2 other like Lumbian or Underground Wars books.
There's about 4 of those dealing with something like that.
This was a good trip.
Yeah.
Book
I
me.
mean, because even if I could just read all the information in there, and depending on what's what, we could exchange it to an Nestor if we needed to get him to like do some more enchanting for us if that's what he had in mind to do. After I absorb the information in the books. So they serve a dual purpose, or they may serve a dual purpose as such. So, okay, so for these 4 Lumbian books, how much?
She says, it's probably about 25 gold.
25 gold for the 4. Okay, I gotta deduct 25, 45. Yeah. I'll take them. Thank you.
She backs him up. Oh, you're welcome. Is there anything else?
Trying to think if there was something that we had needed to know, something that we could get from a book.
Tread's outside sitting on the direwolf reading about nature.
I would imagine so. Oh, I forgot. They persist for like a whole day, don't they?
The entire day.
Animals. Cool. Okay. So yeah, I mean, as long as we know where the shop is and we're in the oasis, we can come back. So, I mean, I can't really think of anything I need right now, and these books are going to be a great help to me, I think. Great help.
Are you saying this in character?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to my team.
All right, then. Have a nice day.
You too.
Yeah. All right.
You go.
The bell jingles as we go outside and leave, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you're doing this after leaving Watt's place.
Mhm.
All right. So instead of going over in-depth detail, 2 to 3 days pass. The next day, all the building and renovations are done on Bruno's workshop and warehouse. All of his stuff is set up. He has received a letter from Holsborn saying he's going to drop something off that evening. And you're all free to do what you wish.
I think we
Okay.
should go to the archives she mentioned, find more information.
I think we should too. In addition
Since we
to all
have
the other
time.
in addition to all the other things I'd want to do, of course, but
Are you doing this over the next couple of days before? All right.
before we need to go see Bruno again to go to Sula.
Could I go ahead and try working on my poison glove idea?
Sure.
What would you like me to roll?
Okay, so that is going to be again a straight intelligence roll with your crafting modifier, sleight of hand, and is it just mainly like a physical poison or is it like a magical poison?
Can you tell me the differences?
That determines whether you're going to use medicine or survival or arcana to get this glove to do the poison.
Um,
Because if it's a physical poison, like an actual poison, like it's a poison dart kind of thing, obviously it is going to be survival or medicine.
both of those are shitty. I mean, it would be a physical poison.
All right.
That, like, you have to refill the glove every time.
All right. I would say that's probably be more of a medicine check,
Okay.
but you would also get your bonus for crafting it since it is crafting a poison.
All right. And instead of +8, so medicine. instead of a +8, I get a +2. So.
Okay.
So the intelligence is a 14 and 2 makes 16, plus 8 is 24. The sleight of hand, 15 and 2 makes 17, plus 8 is 25, right? Yeah, 25. And then the medicine check is 7.
Ooh. Well, you have assembled the glove, but damn it, today you just can't make poison.
Well, I don't have to have the poison. I just need to have a functioning glove.
You've managed to make a functioning glove. It's empty and it's a little rough to an extent. I'm assuming this is going to be like delivering it with a punch, or is it just going to be like a grasp?
Ideally, I could do either one. I'd say punch makes the most sense.
All right. So it does have a couple of like spikes on the gauntlet or glove, whatever we want to call it, that's going to allow you to deliver the poison. I would say that due to the nature of it, it's going to be this is just a rough draft of it, and they're fragile. At least one of them is going to be a little bit fragile. So if you get it wrong, it might break the needle off in somebody.
I see that as an absolute win. All right, yeah, cool. Thank you.
All right.
I got nothing else really.
All right.
Just waiting
So you
for.
guys are going to the rest of the party is going to try to go find the archives, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, you ask around at the king's palace, and you are granted some access to part of the archives. And now remember that really huge place underneath the palace when you went and found I can't remember my own dwarf's name. Sir Algrim.
With when he was kidnapped and it was creepy and everything was weird and cavernous and maze-like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're led to a place underground, and there's just books almost as far as the eye can see. But then there's also walls sectioning it off, and you're told very specifically, like, this area right here is where you're allowed to look at the archives.
Okay, sounds like fun.
Hold up. Part of the archives are off limits.
Yeah.
Enforced by who?
Enforced by the king himself, and you see that there are enormous walls separating the areas, and there's doors.
Is there a specific subject this section is, or is it just like this is what's available?
This is pretty much what is available. Some of them are specialized subjects. Some of them are history, science, all the good stuff. But there is also kind of this like general records. Some of them are personal history. Some of them are personal journals that have been collected from people who have passed away or who donated them to this area, ranging from prominent military leaders, ranging all the way down to private citizens to say, you know what, I have some paper. Let's tell them about my day as I ate 3 turnips.
Okay, so that's those turnip.
Oddly specific.
Yeah, those turnip eaters aren't going to be as useful to us, obviously.
Are you sure about that?
Well, it depends on who ate the turnip. If they turned into something.
I turned into a turnip. My God. A turnip wrote this. It's cannibalism. Cannibalistic turnips.
The turnip became sentient and wrote all about its terrible time inside a human stomach for its entire short life.
No. He ate a turnip, turned into a turnip, and continued to eat other turnips.
Oh, so it's even worse than I thought.
He laments every day. Today I ate 3 turnips. I can't stop.
It's so good. I never knew.
Oh God. That random thing just turned way too interesting in way too short of a time.
Yeah. So that's canon, right?
That is now canon. There is someone in Olton who somehow turned into a turnip and went on the equivalent of a Hannibal Lecter killing spree on other turnips, and he felt super bad about it.
Did he ever get turned back into a human?
Are you looking for the case of Harold the Turnip?
Yes.
If that's what we're gonna call it, now I got to.
Okay, let me just write down
Briefly.
Harold the Turnip.
Okay, now that we've done looking for Harold the Turnip,
I'm going to need some intelligence and search checks. What's it called? Search check.
Investigation.
Investigation. Yes.
okay, intelligence. Just a straight intelligence.
Straight intelligence and whatever you get for your investigation.
Advantage for me helping?
Oh,
Yeah.
investigation. I have proficiency, so you just want me to click investigation?
Yes, you just and intelligence.
Investigation and intelligence.
Well, you do have advantage.
Yes. Never thought I'd be writing these words in my D&D game. Okay.
Harold the Turnip.
Harold the Turnip. All right. So, with Lundgren being helped with Tretskala, you find a number of books dealing with the kingdoms. Maybe not what exactly you're looking for, but you've also managed to find a lot more than you had found in the Shadecasters. And Brock, you are riveted by the story of Harold the Turnip. In addition to also finding a number of other books dealing with the subject you're looking for.
Okay, so we did find a few books about the history of the kingdoms, but not very many because my intelligence roll sucked.
No, you get an 11 with the advantage.
Yeah.
But you get the feeling that this is kind of like the public area of the King's Archives.
Hmm.
Oh, I could call the attendant over, and you say these limits are enforced by the king.
Yes.
Are there
What would I take to say explore other more private parts of the library?
A direct order from the king himself or the equivalent rank required.
Would this writ be enough? I whip out the thing that he gave us.
No.
It says we have carte blanche to do whatever we'd rather do.
See, the carte blanche thing deals with you being able to pursue in the pursuance of like killing people.
Oh, it's only good for that, huh? Okay.
It's pretty much for
Never
getting
mind.
you out of jail. It's your get a jail free card.
Okay,
But
this
there's
isn't
certain
jail.
things that it doesn't really get you into.
All right. So, all right. Well, absent that, I guess we'd have to take what we have here and come back. Unless, this is the
Scott,
archives, right?
go.
We like copy stuff,
Yeah.
or
No. Well, you can make notes, but you can't take the books out.
okay, let's make some notes.
Okay. What would I need for that? Is going to be a combination of. This is not who's actually here, but I'm just going to need some. What's it called? Just give me a straight intelligence check. Okay. I assume that Tritchkal is still kind of helping you, so you got this big brown, leathery hand help guiding your quill. And you both look at what you're writing very intently. And you managed to copy a decent amount of information from these books, probably about, like, you skim, it's like, okay, this is an important part, and you write down that paragraph, and you do that one, and you get a good amount, probably. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, this is the public part of the archive. Is there anything in here that we found about the fourth kingdom that Skullcow mentioned?
Make a history check.
Oh, I think I can get a bonus for that one.
Advantage. Right?
Ooh,
Well, I don't
there
think it matters.
there is some things about the fourth kingdom. There are extremely obscure.
So extremely obscure because nobody took any notes, or extremely obscure because people took a bunch of notes and then tried to hide what they had written down.
Well, what you can tell, since this is the public part of it, is kind of like there are more anecdotal mentions of the fourth kingdom and some things about it. There might be more, like, this is the thing where it's like you're reading through a thing and you find like a really tiny reference to something that seems like it has some import, and this is the thing that causes you to be able to find a more specific vein.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, so and so talked about red swans, and here somebody else mentioned red swans.
You find the mention of certain emissaries from the kingdom of Gant Evos making interactions with the other three kingdoms.
Could you type that into the chat?
Yeah.
Other than
Okay, so we can use that for later.
yes, technically yes.
Well, I mean, to help out, because we'll actually have,
There's and that it's kind of like every so often there's a mention of you find an obscure kind of kingly record of like dignitaries who come and not necessarily pay homage to the dervish king at the time, but kind of like, oh, and by the way, we received ambassadors from this and they did kind of this thing. And this is just a kind of a short report every so often. And every couple of years, there's mention of Gantivos. And sometimes the name is different for who has shown up or who has come to relieve somebody else. And there's just this kind of like, it's treated in the way that it's like they know who these people are and they know what's going on, but they're not necessarily expecting to give you so much detail that you would know what's going on because they expect you to know it already.
And is there any like time frame on these visits? Like what year in comparison to what it is now?
These are probably about a couple thousand years ago, 1 to 2, and then they start to dwindle more at the 1500 year mark from here, from the current year.
1500 years ago.
so it
And then
starts.
it starts to get even. Then
so
like
it's-
at the 1,000 mark, there's like nothing. Gant
Oh.
Evos after that part. According to the official records, like this doesn't exist or doesn't send dignitaries anymore.
Mhm.
Okay.
I've got the wrong character for being so interested in this information.
Oh no, at certain points in Senless, because I did actually I probably should put that up when it's up. I'm running a group through this world, starting in a different location, and they're finding out a lot of interesting lore facts and a lot of interesting plant facts that you might be
Plants!
plants.
Oh, lives in nature. Now Tread's all excited.
Oh yeah, I love that part. Anyway, you
Tread's
will
just
also find
salivating.
a couple of people who did drop by at that at roughly the same time at in the 2 to 1500 year mark. A number of people who drop by at the same time. You see kind of like a group of kind of very famous adventurers going around at the same time, coming back into Alton, making stops. One of the names sticks out to you as sounding way too familiar, and the name is Nestor.
Oh. So when he was the ancient elf was a young and spry elf, he was busy running around.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't suppose this was 1,500 years ago.
Well, elves can live to be a pretty long time. I don't think it's 1,500 years though, but
You know that at least in this realm, while traditional D&D say they have a lifespan about 1,000 years, that's kind of a suggestion. There are definitely a couple thousand-year-old elves. Most of them are kind of in the mid to upper hundreds.
Mhm.
But yeah, they're a little bit more prolific in Surround and other locations. There's not as many elves, say, in Olton, and there's probably more elves up in Senless. And there's definitely at least one elf that you know who was around at the time in Olton currently.
So records of him were around for the same period as this Fourth Kingdom. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, roughly.
so he would know
So he would know it.
everything. Well, not everything, but a heck of a lot more than we know.
Ostensibly, yes.
A heck of a lot more.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to.
Well, I told you some of his badass exploits when Yoan was still here.
We should
Yeah,
go talk to Ernesto about this Gant Avos.
yeah, I think we should definitely.
So I'm assuming we're going to go do that.
Oh, you mean like right now?
I mean, if we've found everything we need.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I think they probably would have shooed us out here anyway.
I mean, you were
So,
kind of
yeah.
getting the run of this particular area.
Okay, so they wouldn't kick us out, but they'll be fine with it if we choose to leave.
Oh yeah, they'll be totally fine if you left.
They'll be totally
they'll be
okay.
offended.
Okay. So, what do you guys do now?
I mean, if we don't have anything else to do, we could either go to see a Nestor and talk to him or go to Bruno and talk to him. But I mean, we just wanted to talk to Bruno. I wanted to learn a bit about alchemy, but that was also going to be on the road to Sula. So I'd suggest we go to see a Nestor, talk to
Agreed.
him if he's available. He's like a busy old elf dude who has
We
like
have
he's
books. He'll listen to us.
exactly.
Are we still in the Oasis, or did we go to Sula?
No, you're
No.
still in the
We're
Oasis.
still here.
Okay.
For now.
For now.
How
I might
long
head
did
to the
you?
arena.
You want to go to the arena?
Yeah.
Okay. They still kind of hold some fights there. It's more of a gathering place now. But there's still a little bit of combat. Roll me some d20s.
How many?
3, just straight d20s. Okay, so you won your first fight, you lost your second one, and you won by a large margin the third fight. You've made roughly about 69 gold.
He's making money.
Okay, that was anticlimactic.
This is like going to your average boxing club.
Fight Club.
Not Fight Club. Like this is this the games that are being held here are the small time ones. There hasn't been like a major tournament in several years. There's been no heavyweight champion of the world in tournaments held within the arena for quite some time, especially within the last 30 years.
So are we going to see what's his name now? Ernesto?
I'm going to assume that you're doing that while he's going to the arena.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
You make it in there, and he says he can spare you like 5 minutes, but he's super busy, and he just needs a quick break. But other than that, he will. If there's anything like we can talk tomorrow. But if there's anything like super important, you have to talk to me. I can spare some time now.
It might be a bit of both. I kind of like whispered to him, what do you know about Gant Evos?
I've not heard that in quite some time. How do you know about it?
We searched the public archives in the palace.
Ah. And why were you looking in the public archives?
We heard rumor of another kingdom.
Hmm. Very interesting. Where did you hear this rumor?
Skull Cow.
Kind of like narrows his eyes at you, like, what the hell you just say to me?
Nature spirit of the desert.
Oh, okay, that makes some sense. You see him like scribble a little note on the side, and he kind of looks like, keep eye on brown lizard.
Perhaps you know this guardian by another name?
I must say that within the Stone Syndicate, nature spirits are not within my purview. I am the second overseer. We deal with the arcane.
Right. And just as a refresher, there are two other overseers. Would one of them deal more with nature guardians?
Yes, but he or she is not here. I forget who's actually the third overseer. The
Ooh,
first
but
overseer deals with the magic of the gods, and the magic of nature is under the third's purview.
okay.
So what can you tell us about Gant Athos?
Gant Avos is a ruin, a place that should be forgotten.
Why?
Have you heard of my previous exploits? And he see the dark and very deep crags in his face. He's kind of an ugly elf.
Oh,
Just kind of deepen.
don't spare the
Ugly.
rod.
A long time ago, when I was a much younger elf, spry in my old age. Flip that. It's been a long day. I've had a lot of paperwork. I was part of an adventuring group similar to yours, and we were tasked with dealing with. Are you familiar with the term lich?
No.
Creature, once human, once bipedal, once anything, that sacrificed so much of its own energy to remain alive beyond its natural lifespan, wielding massive necrotic and otherworldly power, some would describe, came from Gant Evos. In a what we considered a pitch and suicidal battle, many of my comrades falling in it, we had defeated this lich and rid its danger from this world, and with it, to an extent, the power of Gant Evos. And after it was destroyed, for all intents and purposes, Gant Evos was gone. The people within it no longer heard from. The land desolated to the point that it was mostly animals, and any scouts that we sent over Northspire never returned.
North Spire, you say?
Yes, that's where Gant Evos lies, on the other side of Northspire. Although, if you ask the Kingdom of Saran, nothing lies beyond Northspire. That, to an extent, they are correct.
The other side. So if I were in North Spire, which direction would that be?
North.
North. Okay. Interesting. So this lich, and I'm trying to be like courtly polite and everything, but I want to say that if this isn't appropriate, you can let me know, and you don't have to say, because you may not be able to say for various reasons of privacy and such. But this lich, if you could or would, did it once have a name?
His name was lost to time. At the time we encountered a massive, he describes, you know what? I need a history check from Tredscala.
Oh dear.
I mean, at least it's not charisma.
Yeah, true.
History.
History. I would say that you might get advantage because you're being you're in the zone.
Mhm.
What he describes, a dark figure in highly ruined armor and with a number of things. You've seen something like this before, and it feels like you've seen it somewhere, maybe in a dream or something, and then it just clicks. Like when you touched one of that orb that Yoan fella was holding, you saw visions of someone or something that looked very similar to the lich that he was talking about.
Wow. This is wild.
What you just described to me sounds familiar. I've seen it in visions.
Don't know how. He's been dead permanently for, well, over 1,000 years.
Is it possible that he might not be?
You see kind of like this very dark look pass over in Nestor's eyes and says, I'm quite sure his phylactery was destroyed.
All right, then. Perhaps it's another one that I'm seeing in my visions, or visions of the past.
Perhaps. Let's hope they are only visions of the past, which is very troublesome things.
I would imagine so. Well, you had
Yes.
said you needed a brief break, and that means you will probably need to get back to it.
Yeah, so our 5 minutes is up. Though if you
Yeah.
have any other questions, I may be able to squeeze you in for a bit longer tomorrow.
Okay. We will take our leave then. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Now leave.
Goodbye, sir.
The door he doesn't even get out the door.
Yay.
I said good day. He doesn't even get up because he can use like his elvenly telekinesis or like magic doors. He like
Elves don't
construct
have
hand.
telekinesis. Elves
Just
don't have
like-
telekinesis naturally.
Mage hand.
or like mage hand. If the door weighs less than 10 pounds, he could just cast mage hand and push it closed. Boom.
It works.
Right in our faces, because if I remember, you said he was rather ugly and also, depending on his manner, because he's so old, rather rude.
He's brusque. He's ugly for an elf, but he's still better looking than most of the old men.
Most of the old men.
Let's put it this way. When I think of him, I think of the guy who played Moff Tarkin, but with almost below shoulder length red hair that's starting to turn gray.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So like a stately old dude.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
very much the upper crust gentleman in figure and face, but he's not the ethereal, almost godlike beauty that most old elves have.
Okay, because he lost it during his adventuring.
Because he's old as shit.
Well, no, not just because he's
Specifically,
old.
if you remember the conversation that he had with Yoan, specifically the reason why he looks so terrible was from fighting that lich.
Being in the presence of the lich because it tried to suck him dry.
Like I'm depending on where it is, you would have heard about a battle with a lich, maybe not from Gant Evos, but like a group of adventurers went in, like 3 of them came back, and that was only because one wizard was able to near bend space and time with magical energy to pretty much burn the thing to a cinder and pretty much ensure that it was gone.
And
You
so
did-
because he said the phylactery was destroyed, that was him.
And you just didn't know this was a Nestor. You just knew this story that's been passed throughout Sarand for several hundred years. To the point that you thought it probably was like, this is just some made up story like Brothers Grimm.
And Tread, of course, would have just heard about it.
If it was passed around Sarand, I probably would have heard of it as like a story to scare young children.
Yes. Well, 1d2 for me, Tread.
D2. Do. I'll just do a D4 and divide it.
He gets a 3.
All right. You have heard of this story.
Okay.
It's famous enough, and it's even been spread around enough that even the lizard folk can tell like some variations of it. It
Mhm.
may not have been like an elf wizard did it. Some say it's it was a dwarf wizard. It was a lizard folk. It was a great shaman. The story has been passed down and it has some embellishments put into it.
And
Depending-
Tread's just now putting together, oh, wait, this wasn't a lizard folk story. This is a story for everybody.
Kind of.
Yep.
So, are you guys going back to your rooms?
Yeah, let's go back to. Well, do we need to rest? What time is it?
It's getting pretty late. You spent
Okay.
hours and hours in the archive, and then you spent 5 minutes with that. And there's still some going back and forth in the palace. It takes time, but yeah.
Yeah, because we had to get out of the archives and. Yeah, let's turn in, and then in the morning I want to go to Bruno's and see what's up.
Okay. What time do you get up?
What time do I get up? Let's say 8:30 in the morning.
Okay. What time does Bruno get up?
It depends. What did Holsborn deliver last night?
It was not. It would be this night. This is the
Okay.
third day. It would be like on the second day. It's like, hey, I got something for you tomorrow night.
Probably like 8 o'clock-ish, 8:30-ish.
Okay, so you're probably sitting down to your first bowl of oatmeal,
There's several throughout the day.
and use this here. Bum, 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 bum.
I'll go because these doors have a little slidey thing I can look out. Just open it up. Is it just Lundgren Basque or is it the entire thing?
Is it just Lundgren?
Nope.
Where-
4 and 6. See what I got.
Does
Oh.
Brock go with Lindgren?
Badger boar, giant badger, by the way.
Awesome.
All right. So, does the entire party go with Lindgren to stop by Bruno's place?
Yes.
Okay. I think Nick's asleep again, which we won't.
Okay.
mind.
Slide it open. See it's everyone. Slide it back closed. Stand there for a second.
We
Open
can
it back
come
up.
back if you need. We can come back if you need to get some things done. That's not a problem.
No, it's not a problem. Close it. Open it. Yes. What can I do for you?
you had said we had wanted to like come over and like talk about stuff for alchemy or just like your plans or whatever you'd have to talk to us about, that we could come over and like hang out. And provided you can do that now, I mean, it would be cool to do that now. But if not, like I said, I'm totally fine with turning back around and going elsewhere.
No, it's not a problem. Come on in,
Alrighty.
and I'll unlock the door, slide it open.
How many locks?
There's at least 6. Safety is key.
Indeed. With all this expensive, cool stuff in here.
Okay, so you go in. It's I would assume the bottom floor is pretty open.
Yeah, it's pretty open. I've somehow managed to move the cart inside since construction has finished.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you like
awesome.
metal.
Yeah, a large space is taken up by that, but along the walls there's different almost like corrals or pens where there's just piles of materials and metals all stacked up nice and neatly, but still just an absurd amount. Because everything's in 1 pound ingots. If it's a metal, it's in a 1 pound ingot at a time. You know,
Oh wow. So
the barrels are 5 pound barrels.
So it's very OCD in here, is what you're saying.
It makes it easier to find stuff. Like the back wall has the back left corner is the forge, and the middle is like my fine workbench where I put the finishing details as well as do my finer crafting, and then the right corner is this big alchemy setup with shelves of ingredients in different pouches and clay pots and shit.
I'm immediately drawn to that, but don't touch anything.
So yes, what did you want to know about alchemy?
Whatever. I know I'm proficient with the materials and tools, but as far as actual practical alchemy, I know precious little.
Define practical.
I can make poison 3 times out of 10 where I don't have an accident and poison myself or have strange things happen to me.
So instead of practical, what you mean is you're good but not good.
Yep. I can make soap, I can make perfume, etc., etc.
Okay.
You're good but not good. I like that distinction.
All right, I'll teach you something simple, really simple to make. I'd like to see if I could teach them how to make alchemical fire or alchemist fire. It's essentially napalm.
Oh,
Let's see.
I made it. Do you say that to me specifically or no?
Yeah, I'll teach you.
Okay. I've made that, but some aspects of it appear to be unstable when I make it.
Did you add flour?
No, I didn't. No, I had to do that.
Add flour. It makes everything more stable. I use it for explosives, gunpowder, anything really. It's baking. It's great for.
That's the only thing that I knew it was good for, baking.
I gotta ask: is there flour in your oatmeal?
There is a little bit of flour in the oatmeal.
To make us stick together, eh?
Oh no! Yeah, it makes it thicker.
Awesome.
It also makes it less explosive.
Well, that all depends on the day in your intestines.
Oh man. Oh. Ouch.
No, Bruno has probably ingested a large amounts of chemicals and other assorted things over time, to where gunpowder and shit being in his oatmeal, he wouldn't even notice.
Probably wouldn't even matter. Yeah.
It's a Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. Oh my goodness, my bowels.
The first couple times afterwards he'd been really careful, but after like 3 or 4, he's fuck it. I still only have one bowl.
You use it for everything, or is this just your?
That's my one eating bowl. I have other instruments for like making stuff, but for eating, one bowl, one spoon, one cup.
I mean, so far as that goes, you wouldn't need any more than that.
Yeah, no one else lives here. I do have 6 rooms though, 5 available rooms. One is mine.
Oh, cool.
Okay. So you show him the finer points of making alchemist fire.
Okay, so how does that affect the modification to my rolls when I make it myself now, or what?
I would say that you probably would be able to make it with a lot less failure rate, but there's no modification to your rolls. You would probably be able to roll at advantage, though.
Okay.
While you guys are doing that, Tread's just druid crafting flowers because he said flour makes makes things more stable.
You're like a giant, scaly Winnie the Pooh. I just figured that out.
But the wrong kind of flour.
What other kind of flour is there?
The one made from wheat. I'll pull out because I have probably like 10 pounds of it sitting around somewhere, and just pull it out like this.
Interesting.
See, there's now like 6 different garlands of flowers just laying around because of Tread.
What kind of flowers are they?
Some of them are like lilies and some are daffodils. And there's even a couple of sets of roses. Some of them are like all the different types of flowers mixed into one.
I will take those and start drying them out.
Okay.
You're welcome.
A lot of common wildflowers have uses in alchemy.
Nice.
Ooh,
I
such
still
as
help. Many of them can be used in poison.
That's why I was waiting to see like what kinds, like which ones he said specifically. But I mean, I could probably use a lily, coat it in like an airborne poison, and then deliver it.
So do you guys spend most of the day doing this?
It would take a little bit of time, I believe, to teach him how to appropriately make alchemical fire.
Okay. So would it be like into the evening?
He got there about 9 o'clock, maybe 10
Yeah.
o'clock.
Yeah.
Probably.
Then I'd say probably we'd probably be wrapping up close to 5.
All right.
Follow the workday.
About that time, right when it's starting to get dark, you're dong dong dong.
Slide it open, the little eye latch. Yeah.
You said that with such drama. I was like, shh. You see Osborne and 2 other people standing out there.
Holzborn, I didn't think you'd deliver this in person. Close it, unlock all the doors. Come in, come see my new home.
Yes, it's a very nice place.
Thank you.
You see that one of the really big burly guys, he might even have a bit of half orc in him. He's got this sack over his shoulder. He says, I'm here to deal with some of our business. Young Bask, and I believe it was Tread Scala and Proctor here as well. Now, he reaches into his coat pocket and he pulls out a small bag. Your gems.
I'll open up the bag and inspect everything.
It's all there.
Okay.
And I believe you were wondering about a wizard, and he nods to the big guy, and they open the sack, and he dumps it out there, and there's a bound and gagged gnome.
oh dear.
Oh god, I actually fought a wizard.
Oh
And
man.
there's like, he's in kind of very plain looking robes. He's like, he's got the gag through his mouth. He's bound hand and foot. He's like,
I just look at Holzborn. This is not what I meant. I meant find me a wizard that I could hire, not kidnap. But I mean, I was not very specific.
Now, Henry. He looks at him and like, now I've got you to help this man. He'll be paid. I'm assuming he'll be fed.
I mean, I only have one bowl, so when I'm not using it, he's welcome to use it. That and when he's not working, his time is his own time.
We might get you some personal dishes. You're going to be working for this man for a fee. And I do apologize for the means of your conveyance, but we could not just parade you around. You're a very valuable resource. And I hear, and he takes out and he hands him 5 platinum and puts them in his little bound hands. Says, I do hope this overcomes the roughness of the journey. And Jacques here was very careful not to smack you up against anything. And do believe that our business is concluded for now. If you need anything, do not hesitate to ask me. And with that, I take my leave, and he like rounds them up, and Jacques just kind of nods, and they leave.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Henry is still bound, by the way.
I can untie him.
No, we'll get him indoors first.
Okay. I pick him up.
I'll just look at Henry very plainly after we set him on the ground. Now, Henry, when I untie you, we need to reach an understanding first. I want you to look around here really quick. If you notice, there's a lot of material here. Some of it's very combustible. Some of it's not so combustible. Please do not freak out and cast anything, because you were expensive. And I'll untie you now.
You cut his bonds, and he like gets the gag. I was like, I did not think my night would get any more exciting than the book that I got from the store yesterday.
Well, life is full of surprises.
Oh my god, he's a nerd. I love him.
all wizards are nerds.
He is. I did mention that he is a gnome.
Yes.
He's probably about a little bit under 2. He's over 2 feet, under 3 feet.
Now, do you have any personal belongings with you other than what you're wearing?
He kind of checks his pockets and stuff like that. He pulls out a small pair of spectacles and makes sure, kind of cleans them, makes sure they're there. And no, all of my stuff was like where I was. You could get Mr. Holsborn the book I had purchased. That'd be cool.
And where is that stuff at?
Yeah, at my house in the northeast side of the city.
Here? This oasis.
Yeah, we're in the oasis?
Where are you from?
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
I'm from Giva.
Okay, this is fine. That's not an issue. I'll send some men, some porters, to go get your stuff and bring it up over here. Make me a list of what you would like to be brought here.
Give us a detailed description of the house as well.
Yeah,
You the address.
that works.
Okay, that works too.
I mean, yeah, that's what they're there for. You have any paper and pen?
I look around. Yes, I have plenty.
Okay. He takes it out, and you still see he's kind of used to not having his hands bound. And he's like,
around.
and he writes up a couple of sheets of what he would like from his house. Here you go. Will I have my own room?
Yeah, it's upstairs, last door on the left.
Oh, fantastic.
But before you go, can I see one of those platinum pieces?
He hands you one of the platinum pieces.
How much do you weigh?
I weigh about 50 pounds.
Oh, this is gonna be so much fun. Then. Give me a second. I gotta do some basic math.
What's that? What you say? What did you say? Hold on.
Yeah, what did you say? Random people in the background.
Awesome. This is starting to get weird. And I am amused.
Give me a second. I can do math.
You have forgotten how to do math. Well, that's unfortunate.
No, I've got to do the math.
I have forgotten how to do the whole like staying awake thing.
All right, so I'm gonna do my favorite spell combination with that platinum coin.
Never mind. You get the large.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
6,690 pounds of platinum
I think that's the one.
in coins. It's 50 coins per pound. That's 334,500 platinum coins. And I'm gonna go give it to him and be like, this should forever. Just you work for me for basically forever now. This is all yours. You can spend it on what you like, but you have to live here. You have to work on what I tell you to work on. When you're not working on what I tell you to work on, it's your own free time.
Was that yesterday? I don't remember. The day
Does that
is
sound
right.
good?
What's going on, Crystal?
You perhaps mute yourself, Nick. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Yep, I still haven't seen him. So he said he has court tomorrow.
But
They
meantime, my
canceled his
phone's
class
being
tonight, so he
being
didn't have,
slow.
he didn't have class tonight.
I can mute you for you. Thanks, Nick. You're a gem.
And how does that sound to you? Henry,
You
you
just-
said your name was?
You just see his eyes widen at this huge pile of platinum. He just kind of goes, "Yeah, that would work. I'm okay with this."
I would certainly hope so.
Oh, fuck, I left your in there. Shit. I knew I forgot.
All right. So I'm going to be leaving in the morning. I'm going to be
Oh.
gone for a while.
Oh,
I'm going to take him to this giant pile of crystals that I have because I still have 1,000 crystals that have not been charged.
okay.
And I want you to charge 500 of these with Firebolt and 500 of them with what was the Shocking Grasp?
Yes.
With Shocking Grasp. Charge them. I want them very high powered, very strong. I need to get at least 5 uses out of each crystal.
Okay. Do you want anything else put into them?
No, just those 2. 500 of each. 500 of each. There's about 1,000 there.
Okay. I will be spending some of that money to get myself some better books. I might be able to spice things up a bit, make a little Burning Hands instead of Shocking Grasp.
No,
Okay.
that's you're already going outside the parameters.
Okay.
Shocking Grasp.
Shocking Grasp and
Firebolt.
Firebolt. Okay.
These are for personal / sell.
Okay.
Mostly personal.
Okay.
Just very, very bluntly, Henry, I'm going to be honest with you. What I do is not illegal, but it's not legal either. So I have very specific requests, and I need you to follow those to the best of your ability. Like I said, that money is yours to spend on whatever you'd like, however you'd like. but you have to live here. You have to work on what I tell you to work on till you're done working on it.
What about protection?
Oh, no one's gonna mess with this house.
Oh, okay.
Number one, I work for Mr. Holsborn. Number two, I haven't rigged it up yet, but worst case scenario, this place will blow up.
But I'm going to be inside.
I paid you very well.
That doesn't really do me any good if I'm dead.
All right. Well, you have magic. Be smart.
But
Oh, okay.
This is you have magic. Like use the magic to defend yourself. Like if anyone does attack this house, Henry, go buy a set of sending stones. If anyone does attack this house, contact Holsborn. Let him know that Bruno's house is under attack, and that I politely request that he kills the fuckers,
Okay.
and then I'll pay him afterwards. I mean,
Okay.
I've paid him probably like 10 times your weight in gold for you. So,
Okay.
ooh, item number 2. And I need you to start working on this immediately. I need it in the morning, so you might have to work all night. But I'll take off one of my lenses. I need you to enchant this with detect magic.
Oh, okay. He takes the lens and he kind
Be
of
very
starts.
careful. It's the only one of those that I have, and I'd rather not make another one yet.
You kind of squinch through it, and you're like, oh.
It
And
is a magnifying glass. It's like ×2 magnification.
And you see like one of his eyes gets really huge as he looks through it. It's like, I think I can cast detect magic into this and make it permanent.
That is the hope. That is the
Okay.
hope.
He lists off a couple of ingredients. It's really simple. You should have these lying around. I
probably-
need these to cast the spell.
Oh, components.
Well, Henry, buddy, I've said this like 4 times now. Take a look around, and if you don't find it in here, highly unlikely, but if you don't find it in here, go use that pile of platinum and buy it.
And he starts kind of wandering around among your stores, poking around, and he finds the stuff and starts kind of casting. The way I can best describe it is like he looks like a Roomba going around the bit at the bottom of this warehouse as he's looking for things. And you see that he seems to be in the habit of casting while walking a lot.
That's fine, as long as he doesn't fuck up. Henry, do you know what materials are combustible, and which ones are not, and which ones react with what?
Oh yeah, I blew up a couple of houses in my time.
Yeah, don't. Unless it's a last-ditch effort, and then go valiantly.
Okay. He gets back to the casting.
Alchemy station is yours to use. Any of the stations are yours to use. Just clean up afterwards. Don't use my bowl. Don't use my cup. Don't use my spoon. It's the only ones. So you'll need to go buy some. Well, I'll have porters sent to collect your belongings from Kiva. Unless you wish to go get them yourselves, in which case finish your work first, then you may go. When I get back, we're going to have a very big project. You're going to have to, I'll appreciate your input. I say I know what I'm doing with this. I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing with this. What else is there? Oh,
I think you wanted to make sure that you needed to be any more cloak and dagger about him and his responsibilities.
yeah, no, don't talk to anybody about what you do, who you work for, where you live, or I will kill you in a most brutal and horrible manner.
They're okay.
Yeah, and then I would just like to start taking out the lens, one of the lenses of the eyes of minute seeing, the eye of the eyes of the eagle, and the gem of seeing, and I'll start fixing replacing my current lenses with them in different increments.
Okay. That takes you probably about. It doesn't take you very long at all.
I didn't think it would, but that's all I have. And I guess we can go to bed, and then in the morning we'll head out to Sula.
Okay. So, do you guys want to continue on with the adventure in Sula, or do you want to hold that off for next week?
I mean, if we could go ahead and do the like traveling through the desert thing, that'd be cool with me. Just so next session we can actually Sula.
Okay.
Right, so then we could Sula right away.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in the morning, you guys begin your journey to Sula. Henry's having a good time getting to work, and he seems very studious. You have your lens of detect magic, and
My lens of seeing, the lens of the eagle, and the lens of minute seeing, which I can send you a message on which each of those do if you so choose. They are all in the DMG though.
the journey begins, and it's going to take you, of course, hire a wagon or two, and I think you guys are using the wagons, right?
Yeah, because we not going to hire an airship for this because, as he pointed out, we've done that enough, and this is kind of non-official business unless we find Saronica scum.
Okay. So
So-
it'll take probably about 2 weeks to get there by cart, and we'll pick up, not in real 2 weeks, hopefully, but in game 2 weeks from now in Sula.
And that means we can talk about what happens when he teaches me certain stuff to do on the road while traveling. So I'm not losing any fingers.
And now we'll wrap up tonight's session as cool music plays and the lights go down, and we'll catch you next week.